You know, if I'm going to be cuddled up under blankets in front of a fire and snowed in all weekend, there are at least a dozen people I would pick to do it with besides the two of you. And they all look better in lingerie and out of lingerie.
I roll my eyes. We gave you 3 chances to change your mind, I tell Jackson Hill, my buddy Wyatt's best friend from high school, who has also become one of my favorite people to hang out with. I told you when I called to tell you we were moving the trip up a day. I said it again when we picked you up, and I reminded you right before the plane took off. We had been planning this guy's trip for about a month. We'd all hoped for some nice weather, or at least sunshine after the long, cold Chicago winter. We're heading up to northern Minnesota, so it's not like we expected it to be balmy, but the gorgeous cabin our friend, professional hockey player Blake Wilder, owns looks amazing in photos, and we figured we'd at least have a sunny deck, cold beer, a boat, and some fishing for our 4 days. That plan has changed drastically. There's a big winter storm moving in, and it looks like our long weekend is going to consist of hot coffee, maybe with some whiskey in it, and a constantly burning fireplace instead. You still came with us, I tell Jackson, so the lack of skimpy lingerie this weekend is your own fault. You do not know 12 women who would willingly get snowed in with you for 4 days, Wyatt tells his best friend with a grin.
Fuck off. I know at least a dozen.
Jackson tells him.
And I could get 3 or 4 of them to come all together.
He waggles his eyebrows. Wyatt laughs. What the hell am I doing going to Minnesota with 2 dudes for 4 days of a winter apocalypse when I could be in Chicago with you and 4 blondes in lingerie?
Who said I'm sharing?
Jackson asks. We've had fun sharing 1, Wyatt says. Think of what a good time we'd have with 4. Jackson grins and nods.
Good point. I've only got 1 dick, 1 tongue, and 2 hands. I could probably use some help.
That's the spirit, Wyatt tells him, sitting back against the side of the plane that's cruising above the dark water. Wilder's cabin is on an island accessible only by boat or plane. How the hell did I end up flying from Chicago to northern Minnesota and then taking a chartered private plane to an island where there are only 10 houses? I shake my head. I'm a firefighter. I've lived in Chicago all my life. I hang out with blue-collar guys and gals. I'm happy that way. But damn, it's nice to have friends with deep pockets, I'll admit.
Well, now I'm here,
Jackson says, tucking his hands further into the pockets of his dark gray overcoat.
I cleared my weekend for this, so I'd better at least get s'mores and hot chocolate out of this sexless snowpocalypse.
I look at the guy who is 12 years my junior, but has already made more money than I will probably see in my lifetime. I would think you could afford a decent coat. What the hell are you doing wearing that thing up to northern Minnesota in March anyway?
I was thinking about sitting out on that fucking gorgeous deck, grilling out, drinking beer, hot tub, just kicking back. I didn't know I would be fighting for my survival.
I huff out a laugh. We're going to a cabin that is more or less a mansion in the woods. Heidi, Blake's grandmother, who was the one to call and warn me about the incoming storm and suggest we head up here a day early, promised the cabin was fully stocked. She also said March storms could be brutal, but they cleared out after a day or so, and we'd have no trouble getting back to Chicago on Monday. We're not going to be hanging out on the deck in the sunshine, but we're also not going to be fighting for our survival. I think we'll be okay, Wyatt tells him. This cabin is amazing, and we're still getting away. I get that your usual day is pretty cushy, but Luke and I deserve this vacation. Jackson leans back and stretches his legs out.
You 2 work too hard.
Wyatt laughs. Next to you, everyone works hard.
I'll be working hard soon,
Jackson says.
When I was developing my app, I worked 24-hour days for weeks.
You're not working at all right now, though, Wyatt points out.
I'm waiting for inspiration.
Wyatt grins. And you're bored. That's why you're coming with us this weekend.